Well, hello and welcome and welcome and hello. Thank you for joining me on a very special weekend edition of Un Poco Mas. This is the SoFi Week in Review Weekend Edition. Very special coming at you. I'd like to thank J Money Not a Lurker. I would like to thank Princess J. I would like to thank Cutes. I would like to thank Stock Karen. I would like to thank Hurricane Lopez. I would like to thank Anthony Noto, my biological father. I would like to thank CLP3, Chris Lapointe, our CFO. I really don't want to thank Jeremy Rochelle, our chief technology officer, because he again dumped another 400 grand worth of SoFi. And I have absolutely no problem with him selling stock to live his life. Buy a home, provide for his family, all that stuff. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's just the way that it's reported. Because SoFi management has been compensated with a lot of stock. They're a young company. They don't have a lot of cash to burn. At least they didn't when they signed these people. But the good news about executive guys, the good news about a fast growing company with the type of structure that SoFi has is as they scale, a ton of their new profit goes to the bottom line because they are not going to have many marginal costs. Guys, when you go from 2 billion in sales to 10 billion in sales over the next 5 years, you don't hire 5 more CTOs, you don't hire 5 more CFOs, you don't hire 5 executive teams. One executive team can handle it. This is what I heard Uncle Bruce talking about, was how do so few employees look after so many banking customers and so many deposits? And it's very simple. It's what Gary couldn't get his head around. It's because SoFi has built a better mousetrap. They own everything. They own the bank. They own the technology. These things work together. They provide internal cost savings that will get bigger and bigger. Other banks don't have this. And you can say, okay, the big banks are spending on technology. They're spending on AI. Bank of America has Erica. But that doesn't matter because they are not digital native. They're never going to be able to make that transition. They still have thousands of branches, millions of ATMs. Companies like SoFi have figured out there's trillions of ATMs out there that are barely in use. They're just dusty. Nobody uses them. We can give our customers free access to all the damn ATMs in the world for almost no cost. We don't have to go out there and buy all this real estate, spend billions of dollars. That's why the mega banks are just not growing. That's why they're shrinking their deposits, because the way they operate, they soak the customers that aren't wealthy and they basically give you nothing. They pay no interest, charge you every fee, and it's all about convenience of going into their branches, which aren't open when you want to go and aren't going to do any of the things that you want to do. Do you think they're going to give you a rebate if you're, one day late with your payment? They charge you that $40, or you overdraft your account by 1 penny and they end up charging you hundreds of dollars in fees. SoFi is really, they're popular, they're growing because customers like what they're giving them. Why is that so hard to understand? Why is that so hard for some people to believe? Um, I don't get it, but maybe somebody like Gary can explain it to me, guys. There's some hilarity afoot. The YouTube personality Brooklyn Stock Shop went after Tanner. It was I hate to say a funny video because I do like Tanner and I have so much appreciation for how much value he provides just for free, not even getting into like membership and stuff like that, but just the data. I mean, the guy is anything but a pumper. He's very, very conservative. I can't count the number of times, I've been watching Tanner and some of the guys, and I'm like yelling at the screen, like, "You're way too conservative. You're not bullish." And so I think it's just hilarious that people would accuse if he's a pumper. I mean, I'm a super pumper permabull, but we all knew that, guys. The purpose of this video is just to say welcome, hello, and welcome. It's Un Poco Mas. Thank you for joining me this evening. The purpose of this is a lot of people are very frustrated. I keep hearing people say, I'm losing patience. Why am I holding this thing? I'm holding it so long. people have such a short time horizon. They think 2 years is like forever to hold a stock. They never looked at a chart. I guess they just started investing, never looked at a Tesla chart, never looked at an Apple chart, never looked at an Amazon chart. Stocks go down, even sectors go down for years. And I was watching another YouTuber, and they were showing a chart of a fintech ETF that basically blends a lot of the fintechs, and they were showing it next to a SoFi chart. I think it was Felix, actually. And it was a really good chart. I've seen similar charts before, but it's like, guys, we should stop caring. We shouldn't feel like victims. Yes, SoFi, they put in a ton of extra volatility to bleed returners on options and also on pump and dumps. But SoFi being down 71%, it's almost exactly like other fintechs. The SoFi chart, yes, it's a little bit more extreme on the highs and lows, but it follows the other fintechs out there almost to a T. So, you know, the thing to do, at least when I'm looking at options for the next few weeks, is basically max pain 750, 750, 750, 8, 750. So going right into earnings, guys, it looks like they're going to trade the stock relatively sideways. You don't see any puts suggesting a huge push down, and you just don't see anything suggesting a big push up, you know, for the next few weeks. So my guess is they're just going to trade the stock a little bit up off this range. It doesn't look like they're going to push down for 650 or 7, but it'll just kind of bleed to the right, maybe slightly up in that range. So if you want to sell some calls, you know, it looks like at least options are saying you'd be very, very safe, like 850 the next couple of weeks. I know a lot of you guys are very advanced in terms of selling options and such. I really would be very comfortable selling puts, you know, off of these levels. There's just nothing showing that they're going to go ahead and make a big push down. But also the chart is just telling me the stock hasn't necessarily leveled down. If you look at the last time, these dissensions were more 45-degree angle, more controlled. This time, 3 times have just been major pumps and gaps down. These are mechanic moves. These are not retail investors dumping. I don't think any retail investors are really dumping under 8. I think everything below that's been shorting. What am I talking about here, guys? In the last 1 month, Ortex shows borrowing going from 150 million to 283 million. The short is lagging behind, but when that official short interest comes out later this week, this is going to skyrocket. And with the amount of shorting they've done, I'm really surprised it didn't drive it down much below 7. I think that is because institutions are coming in. I think retail investors are supporting the stock. And that's kind of the long and the short of this video. Again, max pain for this week is 750. Next week, 750. Week after that, kicks up to 8. Options are easing up. But you just don't see, this is how you know the stock is going to trade sideways in a range. You just don't see any calls high. You don't see any puts low. You just see market makers honing in on max pain, and they're going to bleed retail option buyers who are stupid, weak, and buying those short-dated options. You just should never do it. Guys, welcome and hello and welcome. And if you want to buy those calls, guys, if you want to buy those weekly calls, sell them at the pop on Monday. That's usually the best you're going to do. You're not going to see the stock leg up on Wednesday on those inflation numbers like it did. That just was kind of a circumstance this week. Usually the stock pops. You get your high of the week on Monday or Tuesday, and that's just the way it is. So just basically overall, don't buy those short-dated calls. It's a fool's errand, guys. It just feeds money to the shorts. Savage of Wall Street is here. It feeds money to Savage of Wall Street. The guy's got kids, and I understand. So if you're gonna, throw your money away and buy those short calls, at least, buy them from Savage of Wall Street, so you can put a little bit of money in his pocket. That's also very important. But guys, the whole point of this thing was just my playbook. I can't tell other people what to do. Obviously, nobody listens. But people are like, oh, we're powerless. They just keep shorting the stock. And we do need institutions to come in. In a sense, all of us are powerless. But there are things the SoFi investor can do that are basically free that support the company. You can still sell options. You can still do all that stuff. But there are things I think people aren't really thinking about. And then I want to talk about a second productivity loop a second customer wheel that we're going to put people on. And I don't think people are really talking about it yet, but I think it's going to be the second one centering around small business. And I have to apologize. Let me put you guys on pause for just 1 second. And, oh, never mind. Sorry, I had some technical difficulties in terms of my home studio. We are currently renovating, and we have Cutes in the house, Princess J in the house. Welcome and hello to them, and welcome and hello to all of you. Whether you're scoring at home or even if you're alone, we appreciate you watching. Thank you for tuning in to Un Poco Mas this evening. Do we have Tevis in the house? The great Tevis from Fundamentals of Investing. Perhaps Tevis can investigate a... Thanks, Tevis. Perhaps Tevis can talk about why some people are so angry, such as Brooklyn Stock Shop. Perhaps it's because these young, handsome Canadians from the North have taken over the YouTuber market in terms of Fintech. And a lot of us down here stateside, we're bitter, we're fat, we're slow. We're not on top of the latest trends, and we have to talk a little bit quieter, or we'll annoy those we love. We have to bring it down a bit. We just have to. This is SoFi Weekly. It is week, and that is WEAK. Of course, not to lift a pun from Tanner and Tevis and the boys, whoever he's got over there. No offense to Tevis. I appreciate you joining us, but I'm really impressed lately with Roy. I'd love to do a project with Roy. Roy, call me. With his knowledge and work ethic and my sort of intangibles, my zany personality, I'd like to say welcome and hello back to Cutes. Cutes back in the house. Welcome and hello to Cutes Princess J. Thank you for joining us in the home studio. Thank you all for joining us on Un Poco Mas. Does anybody have anything interesting to say? Probably not. Guys, Tevis puts out so much great content. That's what I don't see people... I just, if anybody is pumpers, it's not these Canadian guys. These guys are, you think somebody named data-driven investing is a pumper? I mean, it's ridiculous. And like Tanner and Tevis, they cover so many different stocks. It's not just SoFi. Like so many of us are so fixated on SoFi, and we think it's like life and death when the stock goes up. And if somebody criticizes it, we take it super personally. I don't have anything personal against SoFi bears who make an argument against the stock and sort of make an argument that it doesn't have a special position in the marketplace. And basically that if what SoFi does catches on, big banks can copy it, do it better, do it on a larger scale, probably put SoFi out of business like Walmart style. There are certainly, problems with the business. It's in its infancy. You see defaults as problematic. There are plenty of reasons to attack SoFi, but one of the ways you don't do it is, pretend that SoFi is a mature company and pretend that SoFi isn't at the beginning of its growth curve, because the whole secret sauce with SoFi, the whole USP in my book, is that as the company scales, they're going to take so much profit to the bottom line because they have this all digital model and this very favorable cost structure. And that's why they built a better mousetrap. Companies like Discover Bank, American Express, Ally, they're not built the same as SoFi. And I think you're going to have a secondary productivity loop in terms of small business. I don't think SoFi is necessarily ever going to own that giant investment banking IPO market. There is a lot of competition there. It's a very profitable business. I don't think the mega banks are ever going to give that stuff up. Wall Street is not going to give that up. But SoFi already is kind of, pushing its foot in the door in terms of working with ARK, working with some other funds, doing quite a few IPOs. So it's pretty unique for a company this size, this new, to have their fingers in this many pies already. And it kind of shows their ambition. It shows where they're going. It shows, as Noto said, he read Art of War. He burns the boats. He believes in the model. He's 100% in. He's 100% invested. He's 100% committed to the vision he laid out to the board 6 years ago. And I personally believe him. I believe in the execution. I believe in the management. I think when people like Gary say, hey, just don't believe management, don't believe anything they say. And Tanner's like, well, what if they keep delivering? What if they keep delivering? At some point, doesn't that have to matter? He's like, no, no, doesn't matter at all. We just judge them on this year's EPS. That's it. Multiply EPS this year. Stock's worth 80 cents, period. Thank you. I'm done. I'm a value investor. That's what I do. That's all I do. Come on, guys. Is that something we can take seriously? I think not. Sorry for the rant. Who's here, guys? Welcome and hello. I'm going to just go through my little list of, how returners fight back. Going to go through the secondary small business productivity loop and wrap this thing up for a Sunday. Definitely don't want to keep you guys on the day of rest. Let's see. What does Savage of Wall Street say? Maybe we can go on for a bit. We'll have to see. We'll have to see which way the wind is blowing here at the home studio. Let's see. Who's here, guys? Want to say welcome and hello. I think scrolling up very quickly, I may have spotted the flat ball cap of David Redliner. I certainly hope so. The ether between us was first and also second. So you were first, but also the first loser, ether. That kind of balances out. Of course, not a lurker. J Money is here. He's ubiquitous. He's always here. Reminds me of that Seinfeld. And you say, he definitely wasn't here before. He's, oh, he's always here. Like, what does that mean? I do not know if I'm your biological father, ether between us. I have my doubts. You look a little bit bohemian. Your hair looks a little bit strawish. I'm not sure. Look just a little bit too old to be my baby. And plus, that would make Papa Noto your grandpappy. And we can't all be related to Anthony Noto as much as we'd like to be. Let's see. AM was here. AM is here. Welcome and hello, AM. We have ether between us, not a lurker. You guys made like 5 million comments. I can't believe. Low Country Loot and Pawn is here. Much better than the guys at Hardcore Pawn. They're just throwing people out onto the streets of Detroit. Like, where are you going? You going to the casinos? Like, yeah, I'm going to the casinos. All right, I'll give you $60. I lost all my money. Back the next day. Oh, it's sad. Sad stuff, guys. Hey, yeah, let's put a giant pawn shop complex and then a casino directly next to a housing project. That should work out well for people economically. That should help them get their money right. Like, yeah, I'm going to pawn all my stuff and go to the casino. Oh, sounds good. You must be an Affirm customer, perhaps an Upstart customer. Yeah, you're not a SoFi customer. You're not getting your money right. Rim Shaker is here. Hola y hola, Rim Shaker. Not to be confused with the Rump Shaker. Humps and the Bumps. Beach Boy. Show isn't yet. Not a lurker's already abusing his wrench. Where's Alberto? Did we give Alberto a wrench, not a lurker? Not sure, man. Not a lurker is the senior moderator. It's up to him if he needs any help from a junior moderator such as Alberto Berti Avilés. Alberto Berti Avilés also goes on good vacation to these islands. We need some recommendations here. You're going to start traveling. Start enjoying a few of these shares of stock. Sell a few shares, take a trip. You know, why not? Don't have to keep all the shares up my keister until I die. That's not the idea. You're supposed to enjoy it a little bit, right? You guys are going exciting places. Why not me? Why not Princess J? Why not us? Why not Cutes? Princess J is a queen. I completely agree with you. I do not deserve her. That's for sure. I don't even deserve beans and franks. I'm such a turd. What's up, SoFi Bull? How you doing? What's up, Sergey? How you doing? Thomas Puzak. Welcome and hello, Thomas Puzak. You have kind of a funny name. I like saying Puzak. Puzak. Puzak by Rump Shaker. SoFi Bull. It sounds like a rap group I could get together. My rap name is DJ Patchy Drizzle because I come in with a whimper and I rarely leave because I don't have any place to go. They're like, okay, Mr. DJ, the party's over. I'm like, I'm still going to spin a few tunes. He's like, actually, the party was over last week. You've been sleeping on our couch. I'm like, it's DJ Patchy Drizzle. Tell your friends. Tag me on Insta. It's like, get ahead of law enforcement, like kicking me out for squatting. No, that's how my DJ gigs go, though. DJing, it just doesn't pay, guys. It's just bad news. Anybody that definitely do not lease to someone who tells you, top 5 professions you should not lease to people. Oh, man. That's a hard one. Liquor rep, So many liquor reps. I don't know what these guys do. They all have huge cocaine problems and an underage girlfriend. Who else should? The best people to lease to are engineers. I mean, engineers. We have so many of them here in Southern California, aerospace area, automotive, whatever it might be. They're never a day late with their rent, and they return your property. Things that you didn't even know weren't working, they fixed. They aligned things. They made cabinet doors close properly. Like, hey, I just realigned your cabinet doors. I hope you don't mind. No, I'm so angry. You fixed up my property and made it better and repainted. And now it looks actually livable, like a human being lives here instead of the dump I gave you. I'm furious. Oh, and I'm also angry you pay your rent early every month. That's just horrible. Oh, I wish the whole world were engineers sometime. But they, yeah, not great sense of humor often. But I hope you engineers don't take exception to that. We have several in the audience. Sorry guys, a little bit tired, rambling. Low Country's here, Lisa SH is here, Kareem, Beach Boy, welcome and hello. Payush is here, the big P. I bet Payush would be loading Sofi Stock today, but it is in fact Sunday, so Payush could not be loading. Perhaps knowing the resourcefulness of Payush coming straight out of Memphis, Tennessee, representing Memphis, he's probably loading overseas. He's probably on the Berlin exchange. He's probably loading shares in Singapore. Payush is not going to let the fact that it's Sunday stop him from loading the boat. Is he? We don't accept geographical limitations. We don't accept time limitations. We just load SoFi. Let's see, guys. Again, Lisa, Kareem, welcome and hello. Rimshaker, we already said hello to. Lee Armstrong, I completely agree with you. Felix, I was just watching Felix. That Felix, man, I love to do the impression. Felix, running a straddle. 99% likelihood of 99% profit 99% of the time. It's like, dude, I'm jealous of very few people's hair, but I'm jealous of Felix's hair. I'm jealous of his flock of golden retrievers. I'm jealous of his giant, estate in Buckingham. But when you were an investment banker, an earl, an earlobe, these are the types of things you get. Gotta lower the volume, I'm told. Just bring it down just a bit. Probably sound advice from the technical advisors here. It appears Stock Karen has the night off. I don't see her. Hurricane Lopez, I believe, is sleeping. He had a giant burrito earlier. So technical advisors are telling us just bring it down a bit, and we're going to go ahead and do that. But I don't really know what I was talking about. Yeah, but Felix, was Felix puts out, like, between his courses and stuff. I've never taken his options courses, but just very, very insightful commentary in terms of the macro, in terms of the longer term. He just has an understanding of it that I really don't. But he can join the club on that one. So Matt Flo is here. Welcome and hello, Matt Flo. Thomas Puzak once again, the Savage of Wall Street, my Jimmy Superfly Snuka. My brother from another mother. What's up, fellow simpletons, degenerates, paper-handed weenie babies are selling SoFi because they're tired of holding. What are you getting tired of? You don't even have to do anything. Just let the stock sit there in your account. Fuck off. He's not having it. Savage of Wall Street, as per his reputation, not mincing words, not having it with the weak paper hands. Payush, Billy Jack is here, CEO of Southern Operations. Billy Jack, of course, in charge of East Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, that whole region. He can handle all of your un poco mas needs anywhere throughout there. Savage of Wall Street dislikes crybabies so much. If you're scared, go to church. That's pretty funny, man. Savage of Wall Street's got some pretty good lines there. Flint Creek Soap Company is here. Welcome and hello. People with no patience just need experience. I mean, guys, you saw the stock move like almost 100% in a month twice. I mean, it went from 450 to 9, and then it went from like 640 to 10. I mean, this just happens overnight. If the stock is fundamentally performing and it's gone up into the mid 20s, high 20s 3 times, it just doesn't stand to reason that piling up quarter after quarter of strong execution is going to leave the stock, in this sort of 6 to 7 range a lot of people are talking about. The real experts put the fair value of the stock 12, 14, 15 right now. I mean, read Morningstar, read these analysts that actually know what they're talking about. None of them are in the 650 range. Really, the better analysts, I mean, if you take a look at it, the better guys, 14. Now, Kevin Barker's legit. He's at 8. Okay, Dan Dolev is excellent. He's at 12. Fotheringham, 5-star at 9. You get the joke, the Chia Pet, Wedbush at 3. Parito's at 650. But remember, he re-rated on New Year's, the day after New Year's. He's part of a short attack. It was obviously timed. Like, I can't prove anything illegal. And of course, none of it's illegal. Y'all have a First Amendment right and all that stuff. But these more top guys, in terms of John Hecht, 5-star at 15. Ashwin, who's an extremely smart guy, Citibank, he's at 11. Even Mahir, who's kind of a bear at Bank of America, he's at 950. This guy from Deutsche Bank, excellent analyst, he's at 11 and a hold. So, the better guys are all sort of between 8 and 15. The weighted average kind of falling around a 12 average when you consider the SoFi stock's been trading, down around the 7 range. Just getting up to sort of anywhere in that neighborhood would represent a massive move to the upside. I'm having trouble articulating even the bear case myself. The more I hear it, the more it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, this guy Gary, the word salad he threw at Tanner, I mean, Tanner was doing a really good job pointing out sort of the inconsistent, illogical nature of almost everything he was saying, but some of it was just so absurd. All Tanner could do was kind of smirk and laugh and be like, is that really like what you're arguing based like EPS multiple from 2024 when this is their first profitable year and the stock's growing 35%? I mean, don't you understand what a growth phase is? I mean, the company just started. Like, so by your logic, you should never start a new company because you're going to have to grow, and growth is bad. Growth presents all sorts of challenges that you don't want to deal with. Why doesn't every company just be a mature, profitable company? It's been around for decades. It's so much better. So if you want to mature, if you want to start a company, just also buy a time machine. That's the Gary philosophy. If you want to start a company, you also need to buy a time machine. And that's easy. So just start your company, then get in your time machine, go forward 30 years where you have stabilized, consistent earnings. He always earns 15%. It's so easy. Bunch of crap. Just like he's going to go short SoFi from 7. I want to see the evidence because he doesn't have the minerals. Not even close. Condescending, smirking, whatever it is, that's easy. That's free. Put some money into it. Guys, we're going to go ahead and wind up this broadcast. We're going to stretch this broadcast out a little bit longer. I'm very confused by the stage direction at times here. Cutes. I do speak cutes, but sometimes she could just be a little unclear. It turns out she was just hungry. Delicious sparkling water. So I kind of forget what I was talking about, more or less. Let's see. Jake Calloway is here. Price prediction end of 2020. Jake Calloway. Man, if we get those 3 rate cuts, I'm going to put my price prediction. I mean, I know this sounds crazy because it's a double, but I'm going to say $15-16. And I believe that's because we're going to see 3 more really, really good ERs. I just think this business model, I know I keep saying it, but as the company scales, as they add more revenue, they are not going to add a lot of marginal cost. And the technology side, it's going to be even better. The eventual margins this company is going to show are going to be outstanding. 20% at the bottom line is not the upper limit for this company. I think they can do significantly better than that if they're able to scale and become sort of that top 10, or at least on the road to that. I mean, the efficiencies this company enjoys, the structure of it, it's like it's created for this next decade. It's created for tomorrow. They've gotten over a hump to be that one-stop shop that so many have tried, whether it be Apple, Goldman Sachs, I mean, with their mucus product, or excuse me, Marcus, that hot commodity. Can't even get through to their customer service. They're so fucking busy. Is this Marcus? It's like, no, this is your friend Marcus. Like, you need more people calling your friend Marcus than fucking the Marcus line over at Goldman Sachs. Fuck Goldman Sachs anyway. They're shorting the hell out of SoFi. Their DJ CEO, those bastards. If you take a look at the institutional ownership, let's see. You got Goldman Sachs down here, and let's see where they are. Here they are. 3-1 filing. They've got 13,500,000 2,500 shares in a put from 748. Not really printing on that turd, but this is obviously part of some other type of trade because they have a call, almost 5 million shares, and they have 6.5 million long shares that they own. So they're up to all sorts of reindeer games, but the bottom line is they're short the stock. But they know Noto very well, obviously had multiple stints over at Goldman Sachs, so don't be at all surprised if they flip that position and go long and make a ton of money on the upside on SoFi, because Goldman, for whatever criticisms you can lodge and throw at Goldman Sachs, they always make money. They have for a long time. They know a million different ways to make money, even if they have to put dog shit in a bag and sell it. They're perfectly willing and able to do that as long as they can find some sucker to sell it to. So anyway, guys, don't really know how I got off on that tangent. But if you look at, again, the short interest, this hasn't gone up from Friday, where they borrowed another net 8.8 million shares, and on Thursday 8.7 million shares. It's not a coincidence, guys. Shares available have come all the way down, often below a million. If you see the utilization in the last 3 months, it's gone from 36% to 89%, an increase of 147%. Cost to borrow has gone up 50%. Shares on loan, 187%. Short interest has increased 31%. I don't know why days to cover is down. That doesn't really strike me as reasonable, but this shows short interest percentage of free float at 19%. I firmly believe when those numbers come out in about 2-3 days, the short interest, official short interest, is going to be well above 20%. Call it women's intuition, call it whatever you want, but I'm telling you, it's going to be well over 20%. So the playbook, I went over this a little bit before, want to go over it one more time, but it's just very simple. Don't buy on Mondays and Tuesdays. They want to push the stock up anyway. You're going to probably overpay if you're buying long shares. Never buy short-dated call options ever. Sell short-dated options only. Let time decay work for you, not against you. If you need to buy calls at long dates, buy leaps. Buy shares on Thursday or Friday when shorts want to push the stock down in conjunction with option sellers. Mark shares as do not lend. That's as simple at SoFi as getting on the chat and asking them to not lend your shares. Very similar at most places. You can ask them not to lend your shares. You usually get almost none of the revenue they receive from loaning your shares to short sellers. So there's really no reason to do it. I'd rather not help the shorts. Pardon me. Pardon me. Hello and welcome. Welcome and hello. Let's see. Where was I? So give SoFi your business, and I'll go over that a little bit lower. Buy these massive irrational dips. Use the short dishonest calls, those dips they create to your advantage. Load leaps. Sell puts off the bottom on a short date. If you need to do play some options, definitely sell those puts. Some of you are so fine at recruit new members to SoFi. It's not that hard. They pay you to do it. Another thing that's super easy and free, guys, is just review SoFi on sites like Trustpilot, NerdWallet, some of these other financial sites. There's a million of them. Credit Card Navigator, these different sites. if you have a few minutes and you're members of these sites already, you're reading reviews, just review SoFi. It helps the algorithm, it helps the traffic, it helps promote the site. So, just leave positive reviews. Something as simple as that. Again, it's absolutely free. It could definitely help the company. Demand innovation from SoFi, push SoFi to give us these covered calls. And sorry, just just push SoFi to go ahead and give us these features they're talking about. Last time I asked them, covered calls, they said, okay, we have to add shorting. So it's been like, that was a couple months ago, but they said possibly by the end of the year. I'm like, if you own Galileo and basically, this should not take 2 years to implement sort of options, platforms that other companies have had done and dusted for like, many, many years now. Not just Robinhood, not just Webull, not just all the mega banks, not just all, basically everybody allows you to sell covered calls. I mean, it's very, very basic strategy. It's not super advanced, and it doesn't, it's not requiring a lot of risk, margin, credit, this type of thing. So a little bit strange to me that they haven't got that done. Your shows are getting better, tighter. Keep looking. Yeah. Savage of Wall Street, guys. If you don't know Savage of Wall Street, he's here. Check out his channel. He does some pretty good SoFi content, big on selling options. So check him out, guys. Like to support my fellow low-level youturders as much as possible. So the wrench looks like not a lurker. Oh, you guys are so envious of not a lurker's wrench. Stop it, guys. It's very Freudian. Buy calls. Yeah, buy a bunch of calls, guys. Savage of Wall Street has no agenda. He's not the one selling you those calls. I'm not going to shut up. Official short interest numbers from NASDAQ come out Tuesday. Yeah, Tevis, what do you think? Tevis is probably gone. Probably has better things to do. We're definitely going to hang out on Tevis's yacht, me and him out of New Brunswick, very, very soon. Official short interest numbers, so we only have 2 more days to go. I'm predicting like 21%, but that's just me. Let's see, guys. Fundamentals. This is a little bit savage, independent. Yeah. Whenever I'm making content at SoFi, I'm watching others make content. Thanks, Tevis. I really appreciate it. Watch a lot of your channel as well. Roy for president. Yeah, love me some Roy, man. That guy, he's monotone, but I'm fascinated by that 1970s headshot he has, that black and white headshot. So many fascinating things we just don't know about Roy. It's not the unknown unknowns or the known unknowns or the, not sure what it is, but definitely some behind the scenes. One of those videos like Tanner did on Anthony Noto, The American Dream. Similar video on Roy would be much appreciated if anybody could generate one. Run that up the flagpole, see where it goes. I personally want people to critique, overanalyze SoFi as they can stay up and down one more year. Buy shares. Savage of Wall Street just basically wants the stock to trade sideways so he can make a bunch of money off you potsies, a few pansies. Let's see. Like and sub. Don't like and sub, guys. Not a lurker is trying to lead you astray. Flint, Cashmere Sense, SoFi Dreams, Beach Boy, Low Country, Roy. I'm sure Roy's Canadian. Everyone with Fintech on YouTube is Canadian. They all have, questionable, patchy facial hair. They're all young. They all seem to have money. They all seem to be very smart. Deadliest catch Chris when he's not fishing for king crab or bear dye crab or opelial crab. He's out doing some chemical engineering, and when he's not doing that, he's tweeting about fintech stocks and just doing a bunch of data analysis. This is the type of productivity you can expect out of our friends to the north. Guys are extremely productive. They're very, very good with numbers. They're very intelligent. Don't know about their facial hair. The jury's out on that. Roy's in Texas. Okay, Roy's in Texas. I stand corrected. I just assumed he was Canadian because we're all Canadian. Weekend isn't good without a little Umpoko Moss. Yeah, a little is enough. A little goes a long way. That's why we only give you Umpoko. Savage, second that. Good options, both sided. Yeah, guys, that's the thing. Despite our dreams, our nightmares, stocks generally trade to the side, more or less. They don't go extreme up and down. That's for the most part. Of course, SoFi Noto is your dad as well. We're all claiming paternity with Anthony Noto. Shorts better think twice about short interest going into the lower. CEO said save over 60 million. Yeah, but what part of that was in the guidance? That's what we don't know. That's what we don't know, Michael Anthony. Was that already in the guidance from for the full year or not? And if not, why didn't they adjust guidance? Wouldn't Shouldn't they come out and adjust guidance when something that material takes place if it's not already in there? You guys have to tell me on that one. Hola, Lisa H. Toto, what's up, Lisa? Not a lurker, hanging with you guys. Himothy's here, Kingpin, Flint Creek, Matt Flo, all you guys are here. You guys have always been here. I don't have time to address all of these wonderful comments, but so guys, what I want to do is if SoFi could stop, I think they've stopped focusing on spending so much on the outright on membership growth, but they could spend less and increase cross-sell incentives. Pay an extra, tenth of a point to direct deposit members if they have 5 products from SoFi. Increase incentives for cross-selling for existing customers in a variety of ways. Give them favorable rates on loans. Maybe some of that's already being done. Basically, we need an online army. We need sort of a street team of people promoting SoFi. That's cheap. That could be out on Twitter. You could say, hey, if you recruit so many SoFi members, say you recruit 10 members, you get an interest rate bump. You recruit 100 members, you get a big interest rate bump. You get some special thing at SoFi Stadium, whatever it might be. SoFi could put out a special edition metallic credit card, just something kind of ho-hum, but, people might enjoy it. It might give people incentive, maybe an online system on the app where you're given some type of reward for bringing in, recruiting new members, cross-selling, things like that. So also we heard about the tax product. Tevis did a good video about the tax product. What I want to see is that enhance that tax product into small business, into bookkeeping. Obviously, they're working with the feds. They just hired that lady from the New York Fed to their board of directors. She's supposed to help with the business banking. That's another reason they got rid of everything associated with crypto. They want to get approved for business banking, business lending, all that stuff. Put that into bookkeeping. They already have their SoFi at Work program. We've heard about the partnership with NVIDIA. It's not really a partnership. It's kind of more using their SoFi at Work program, using some of the existing programs SoFi has. But let's talk about a small business loop similar to the consumer loop. But we could talk about things like bookkeeping. We could talk about things like payroll. We could talk about things like benefits, like healthcare. We can talk about things like small business lending. We can talk about health, dental, all these other things. But there's just a huge area of growth here with small business, with entrepreneurs, with the gig economy, with, everyone from Uber drivers to youturders to content creators to, there's all these people who are suddenly self-employed, suddenly independent contractors, and there's nobody really grabbing these customers. A lot of us, do pretty well. A lot of, small business, single person business owners, a lot of them are kind of flying under the radar. Nobody's really grabbing these customers, which could be, very, very good for SoFi as a company for many, many years. But we have to reach out. We have to strike while the iron is hot. Somebody's going to get this together. Somebody's going to be the new bank of small business here in America. Somebody is going to be the leader. SoFi needs to innovate as quickly as possible. I know some of this is regulatory, but things like covered calls and shorting and stuff like that, that's not really regulatory. There's a complexity they don't want to put the resources into dealing with right now, and probably customer service issues, regulatory issues, all sorts of other issues, but you're going to have to get it together. You can't just rest on these few products and then add in things like travel and life insurance and at work and sort of these marginal things. We have to get more core products onto SoFi, expand, compete. It's just, I know we're in this proof of concept. I know they're doing these things with other customers, other potential customers. There's a lot of demands on the technological side. CTO Jeremy Rochelle, he has to spend a lot of his time dumping his shares as fast as humanly possible. So I know he's got things to do. No, guys, seriously. Another thing is, I was saying, can't we just amend this guy's contract and just pay him in cash? We have billions of dollars in cash. Why do we have to pay this guy in stock? I mean, I have no problem with him selling his stock, but if he's just going to sell his stock anyway, and it's going to create, 4 bad headlines a year that get reverberated hundreds and hundreds of times, wouldn't he agree to just get paid in cash? Like, what's wrong with good old greenbacks, good old ducats? What's wrong with just money? If he doesn't want to own the stock long term anyway, why do we have to keep paying him in stock and then watching him dump the stock and watching the media pretend like SoFi stock's in trouble because this guy, sells all of the stock he gets? Like, it's just bad for the company. It's bad for business. And, I know it's his right. I don't have anything against him diversifying his assets and living his life and stuff like that. But if it's going to happen, I don't know, maybe I'm naive or whatnot, but can't we just get out in front of this and just pay this guy in money rather than stock? So anyway, guys, let's see. It looks like my stupid thing's been off for a while here, but, anyway, yeah, that was pretty much all I wanted to get out. Just small business opens up so many possibilities. I think tax is a good entree into that because you can kind of get into sort of these gig small business accounts. But I think really each of us could be doing so much more. You all have accounts, all kinds of different places you're barely using. There's all kinds of SoFi products. You don't have to really pay anything to open. Credit card, bank account, money, invest, like all these things are basically free, and they give you the same or better than almost any place you're at, and probably more interest rates, less cost. If you need a loan, you need to refi something, that's one thing. That's great, but a lot of these things are just basically sort of free throwaway products that you could join, 3-4 products, put some money in a SoFi bank account. It's not going to cost you anything. It's going to only gain you interest and, could really help pump the numbers. I'm not saying just join the things for no reason. I actually use the products, actually like the products, but I'm just saying people who just want to Karen about how, the shorts are in charge of the stock and nothing's going right and, nobody's coming to our rescue and all this stuff, like just have too short a time horizon. You don't have any vision. You don't understand patience in the market, the role of patience, the fact that market makers count on you becoming impatient, count on you selling the dip and smelling the rip. And they don't want to pay less than returders. They don't want you to make money because it's a zero-sum game. They want to take your money. So if you buy SoFi at 5 and then it runs to 12, they don't want that. They want you to buy that high. They want to buy the low. So if they timed it wrong, they're going to just bang the stock off the trend line over and over again. If they don't get their way, they just get a bigger hammer and they just smash harder because they have more money, they have more time, they have more resources. It's like the movie, Dumb Money, that was talking about GameStop. The hedge fund guy, they're like, the Seth Rogen character's like, I'm not worried. They'll break eventually. They'll get greedy. They always do. 99 times out of 100, he'd be right. And, hedge funds clean your clock, and that's just the way it is. But there are plenty of ways you could fight back, should you so choose. And that's just support the company, stay the course, don't panic, be strong, use logic, don't be susceptible to FUD, don't be susceptible to illogical arguments that don't make any sense, and don't be upset at people airing their viewpoints. That was the funny part, was just this... this Brooklyn stock shop guy, he did a video going after Tanner with future investing. This called him Steve Urkel, certified goofball. I don't know. I like this guy's delivery. It was funny. Like the way he says stuff is funny, goofball and just stuff. But I just think it's totally wrongheaded. I think the Gary interviews really exposed the bear case as a bunch of gibberish that it is. And I think made the bears look very weak, very illogical, like they're grasping at straws. So I personally loved the second interview in particular. I actually did a video about it. I thought Tanner pushed back a lot harder than the first. But this guy's entitled to his opinion too. He's pretty funny. He had some... controversy going with Strongman. I don't really know the details of it, but I guess they've been warring for a couple of years now. Anyway, guys, it's the SoFi stock. Ticker symbol is SOFI. This is Un Poco Mas, the show where we give you just a little bit more. Appreciate you guys joining us tonight. We'll see how this week goes. Short week, holiday on Friday, so we have 4 days. And then 4 more days, we'll see the short interest come out. We'll see some inflation numbers, and then spent the whole morning looking at 20 of his videos. Yeah, this guy makes Kyle look bearish. Yeah, no, I mean he's got a pretty damn good delivery, Tevis. He's an entertaining guy. I don't agree with his comments about Tanner, but I see what he's saying is like, why give the bears and the shorts like more ammo, more airtime, more oxygen? He's like, just pump, just be bullish, just talk about the facts. And I see his point, but I still I still appreciate Tanner's point of view from having a bear on. The guy has a platform. He wrote these 2 articles, and I thought both interviews, like I said, and particularly the second, were quite effective from a bullish point of view. Anyway, guys, it's Sofi Stock. It's Danny Deals. It's Un Poco Mas. Want to thank Not a Lurker. Would like to thank Princess J. Would like to thank Cutes. Peace. We're out of here.